How great thou art, how great thou art, and I worship you. Welcome, 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 welcome into the morning live, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. It is Wednesday, actually. It is December 6th of 2023. And I want to say welcome to everybody who is here and those of you who will be here later on after the live has ended. We are going to be continuing with the reading of the book of Jeremiah. We have been reading the book of Jeremiah now for close to a month, and as interesting as it is, I really don't, and confusing as it is, I really don't want the book of Jeremiah to finish. Believe me, because the book of Jeremiah has so many lessons for us. It has so many lessons for us to stop and think about what we are being fed as it relates to the contents of the Bible. And I blame us because we are being fed, force fed, and swallowing these biblical meals because we do not spend the time to read the Bible for ourselves. And I got a problem with that. Yes, I do. I got a problem with that because I don't understand why this book that is so influential in everybody's life, and everybody is claiming to be able to condemn people based on this book. You all use the book to elevate people to sainthood. You all use the book for just about, oh my, this broke, every aspect of your lives. Yet, mm-mm, yet you refuse to read the book for yourself. And because of that, anybody can come and tell you what is in the Bible. Why? Because you haven't taken the time to read it for yourself. So because you haven't taken the time to read the Bible for yourself, anybody can come and tell you just about anything. And what do? You believe. You believe because you don't seek to know the truth for yourself. And that's where I come in, because you see, I'm nosy and I want to know what is in the Bible, because the Bible has, as far as I have observed, one of the biggest questions that I've had all my life, ever since I was a child. One of my biggest questions when it comes on to religion and the Bible was, why are there so many religions and denominations? That has been my my question all my life. And I never seem to be able to get the answer because nobody seems to know what the answer is. You know, why everybody is using the same Bible. Why is everybody using the same Bible? Everybody is claiming to be serving the same God. Everybody. But they can't agree. Why can't y'all agree? That is one of my prevailing questions. Why can't you all agree? If it's the same Bible and it's the same God, then it should be the same scripture, the same teachings. Why y'all can't agree? Can somebody answer me that? That is one of the things that has caused me to have so many questions about religion and the Bible and the people who try to espouse it and all of this, because I can't understand y'all. People who go to church on Sunday, fussing when people go to church on Saturday, or you're not doing it right, I am doing it right. Everybody using the same book. And nobody can tell me why they can't have just one religion. Just one. Since we are going to use the same book, we are going to read this book from beginning to end, and all of us are going to do what this book says. So we are gonna worship in unison. We can't do that, huh? You know why we can't do that, my friends? We can't do that because of the profit that exists in religion. Right, Mike? Mike, bless up a nice clean self. How you doing? Ezra, how you doing? Yeah. The profit that exists is not going to allow for us to do this thing in one. We got to do it. Everybody got to do their own, because everybody got to throw their own hat in that monetary ring to see who is going to follow them. And when I hear people having religious debates about which church is right and which church is wrong, I just look at them like, what a bunch of numbnuts, fighting over which church is right and which religion is right and which religion is wrong. Nobody, not one human being alive on this earth today knows whether or not their religion is right or wrong. Regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you read. Nobody knows if theirs is right or if any is right. Because the standards that you all use to determine who is right and who is wrong, you all can't even agree on. So that is just left in the open air for the birds to poop on. But anywho, Henry, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. It is Wednesday morning, and we are here as always. We are here every morning. For those of you who are just coming, we are here every morning. I come here to read the Bible. I try my best not to inflict. I call it inflict. Not to inflict my previous knowledge about the Bible on my current readings, because I really wanted to come here and appear as a blank slate, not contaminating this reading with my previous beliefs. I want to enter into this reading as though it's the first time I'm hearing about religion. It's kind of hard though. It's kind of hard, because I always end up drawing back on what I know. I have to always catch myself and cut it out, because that would not make the readings as authentic as I expected them to be. Because we came into this reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation just in an attempt to understand what is in the Bible for ourselves, rather than be told, because you all have to admit all our lives we are being told what's in the Bible. Read this verse, read that verse, but we don't spend the time. 98 point something percent of us who claim to be Christians and claim to follow the Bible, we have never read the thing for ourselves. We only go by what people tell us, and we go by 2 verses here and 2 verses there. Now you tell me, which person reads let's say a novel, for example, which person picks up a novel and reads 1 verse of chapter 1, 1 verse of chapter 2, 1 verse of chapter 6, and then claim to know the entire novel, so much so that they can teach people what's in the novel? You got to read the novel. You got to get the context of it. You got to know who is talking, to whom they are talking, what did they say, what were the circumstances under which they had this conversation. And the same thing goes for the Bible. But for the Bible, it is more pertinent than any novel, because the Bible is used so extensively to control every aspect of our lives. So it can be just like how we are doing this willy-nilly thing, going around and just reading a verse of Jeremiah, a verse of Genesis, a verse of the Psalm, and then we preach and want to baptize people and all these things based on the Bible, but we ourselves have never read it. And sometimes too, I wonder if the ministers, the people who claim to be ministers and preachers of the gospel, if they have read the Bible themselves, or if they just go with the flow. Have they read it and refused to inform the people really of its contents? Because now the Bible is used extensively all throughout the world to teach people. But the Bible itself was written from a Jewish perspective. Right, JP? The Bible was written from a Jewish perspective. Monique, what's up? How you doing? Lady M, how are you doing? Blessings to you, my sister. Blessings to you. Mike, how are you doing? Carol and Linford, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so that is my mission, is to read the Bible for myself, and as I am reading it, I am sharing it with you. Now, before I go any further, my usual preface is that I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination on my channel. No. And that is why when people come text me and say, "Oh, Trev, when you're reading the Bible, you need to pray for understanding." No. Because if I do that, then I will be corrupting my intentions in the Bible reading. And I don't want to do that, because there are people who are listening to this who don't believe in what I believe in. They don't believe that, they don't believe what I believe. So therefore, for me to throw that prayer in these people's faces and then say to them, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination, how hypocritical would that be? So therefore, I enter into this. I try at least to enter as a blank slate. All right, Chris? So today we are going to be reading Jeremiah chapters 49 and 50. Now, yesterday when we read Jeremiah chapter 48, we saw where Jeremiah was telling the people that God told him, Lady M says, I am blessed and I have read the Bible many times and always get new understanding. I appreciate that, Lady M, because I am sure that anyone who has read the Bible as much as you have would agree that they too get new understanding each time. Because even after I've read a chapter, sometimes I go back and I'm like, while I was reading this just didn't seem right. I'll go back and I'll read it. And oftentimes I come across information that is contrary to the same information that I came across in another book. For example, when we read a few days ago about King Joachim, who had ripped up the scroll that Jeremiah had Baruch write, and King Joachim had ripped it up and thrown it in the trash, the garbage. To hell with Jeremiah and his nonsense. All he does is preach death and destruction for the Jews. I don't want to hear nothing from him. And the king ripped up the scroll and threw it in the trash. And it said that King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon appointed Zedekiah to the throne. And I thought, why would the Babylonian king have so much authority in Israel that he was going to appoint Zedekiah to the throne? And then I went back into the kings and I said, what happened to Joachim's son? Why wasn't his son appointed to the throne? Because that was the Jewish custom, that the son takes over when his father dies. And when I went into the kings, it said that Joachim's son was denied ascent to the throne. What happened there? So there is a disconnect right there. There's a disconnect right there. So I'm going to have to read that again and hopefully find some additional literature so that I can get an understanding of it. When I do, I will certainly share it with you. But that is just one example. Another thing that baffles me was this same Jeremiah here, how Jeremiah has claimed to be talking to the Lord on behalf of the Jewish people, but so far, Jeremiah doesn't have any message of love and peace and redemption and grace for the Jewish people. What Jeremiah has is death by the sword, by the famine, by pestilence, destruction from Nebuchadnezzar. And that's all Jeremiah preaches. And that's what has caused the people to be so angry at him, because everything he's preaching to them is in favor of Nebuchadnezzar and not in favor of the Jewish people. And I said it from the beginning that I believe Jeremiah was a Babylonian spy. Jeremiah was a Jew, but he was working for Nebuchadnezzar. And in the beginning of the reading, I said this based on the information that was provided to me at the beginning, just me thinking ahead, and with my mindset of always thinking that whenever you see people going around and coming around, they have an ulterior motive. And I felt it from the beginning when Jeremiah said that the Lord told him that Moses and Samuel came in front of him and prayed, talked to him about the Jewish people, but he told them he don't want to hear nothing about those people. And I said, why would God tell Jeremiah that? Like, this don't even sound right. This don't even sound right. And when he said, God told him that the people who claim to have been prophets and priests and stuff before him were liars, and they came and told the Jewish people lies in the Lord's name, as though he was discrediting all the prophets before him and now elevating himself to this position of authority as a prophet, where the people should believe everything he say and disregard whatever they had learned before from the other prophets, information and knowledge that had been handed down to them through generations. And here was Jeremiah trying to tell the people that God has told him that the prophets before him were all liars and crooks. And right there and then I thought, the liar and the crook has got to be Jeremiah. And then my thoughts seems to have been justified when I read that when Nebuchadnezzar came up and destroyed Jerusalem, knocked the walls down and slew all the noblemen, you know the one person he saved? Jeremiah. And not only did he spare Jeremiah's life, he gave Jeremiah a reward. Why would the enemy come and give you a reward? All this time you have been preaching in favor of this quote-unquote enemy. You have been telling the people that this enemy is going to come up and destroy them. And then the enemy does come up. And the enemy does destroy them. But the enemy spares you and give you presents. What was that all about? Why would Nebuchadnezzar have any reason to give Jeremiah presents unless Jeremiah was acting on his behalf? And then Nebuchadnezzar appointed Gedaliah as the new governor for Israel. And what did Nebuchadnezzar tell Gedaliah? This Jeremiah here, give him whatever land he want, wherever he want. Let no man harm him. Give him everything he wants. What is in that for Nebuchadnezzar? why he would be so kind to Jeremiah. I don't know if anybody ever asked themselves that question, ask the pastor that question, or read the book of Jeremiah and find the answer, or find the answer somewhere. But if you all do, if any of you have found the answer to that question, please let me know. So here in the reading yesterday, the people tell Jeremiah, they know why you're not at all from them, because they are sick, they are tired, and they are downright fed up. He don't come with no good news. He don't come with no expectation of peace. All he comes with is war, death, and destruction. Jeremiah said the Lord told him, wait, let me find it for you now. Let me go back and find it, because this was the baffling part of yesterday's reading, where Jeremiah said, the Lord said, the people are cursed if their swords are not wet in blood. Oh, wait, I thought I had marked it. Oh, Jesus, I'm on the wrong page. I'm sorry, guys. In Jeremiah chapter 48 and verse 10, Jeremiah says, the Lord tell him that cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back the sword, his sword, from blood. Huh? What? Jeremiah said the Lord said that to him. Cursed be he that keepeth his sword, keepeth back his sword from blood. That means you are blessed if you thrust your sword into under somebody's fifth rib. You understand? And people don't want to hear that these things are in the Bible. I have been reading the Bible from Genesis, and now I'm at Jeremiah. And for a book that people say is supposed to establish grace and love and peace, I never read a more violent book. I have not read, and you all know, those of you who have been following me know that when you see me, my eyes are always in a book, always reading something. But mighty God, the Bible that I've been reading has been so far the most violent book I have read. Yes, it is. Don't ask me why, but it is. But anyway, yes, the Bible is the most violent book that I have read. Okay? And here comes Jeremiah. Here comes Jeremiah with nothing but death and destruction for the Jewish people. And now he's telling them that the Lord says, cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. So the people them are blessed when they go fight and slay off one another. But anyway, it is the